Hi there, my name is Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. I help people with spiritual awakening and ascension and guiding you through the healing of the mind, body, and soul. Today, I have a topic jar. So the past couple of weeks, I've been flooded with topics. And so I put them all in this jar. I'm not even sure if I'm ready to even talk about some of these topics or if I have the knowledge. You guys know how it goes. I thought this would be a fun way to kind of move into a topic. So let's see how it works. If I told you, probably won't see this video if it doesn't work out. Okay, so shake it up. I got some interesting topics and some controversial ones. And let's see what the first topic is today. It's a pretty jar, huh? It looks like Martha Stewart-ish. Oh wait, I can see the topics. Let's do it again. All right, so I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna put my hand in there. And let's just say that whatever topic is picked, that is my intuitive. Oh wow, one just flew out. Should I go with that one? Soul fragmentation and fractals. Okay, since it just flew out, we have to assume that's what I'm supposed to talk about, right? One of the ones I wasn't ready to talk about was something I thought about, and I was like, ooh, good one. So, all right. So soul fragmentation. So I want to talk about soul fragmentation, and again, when you're watching my channel, I'm not teaching you. I'm sharing my experience really, and I'm sharing from what I've learned and what I resonate with and what it sounds like to me from what I've experienced. And so, as far as soul fragmentation, you might have, you might be more experienced than me and have heard things, and that's fine. It's all good. All right, so we're going to start with soul fragmentation. So I put soul fragmentation because I realized something that has happened in my life. So if you've been following my journey, you will see that I've, the past few weeks, probably most of the past few months, I've been going through things back to back, and I think that's the way the energy is. We're all having these ups and downs. We are purging. We are old issues, childhood traumas, different things have been coming up. I also kind of talked a little bit about the shadow side and embracing the darkness of who you are, because we're both light and dark. So when it comes to talking about a soul fragmentation or a fractal, this is talking about your soul splitting or becoming dividing. Let's see, what is the best way to put this? Okay, so after my spiritual awakening, I began to learn that the God force, source energy, God, the universe, right, is all one. It's oneness. We're all one. And so let's just say it's so hard to say some of this stuff because you learn things and then you learn other things that contradict those things, and then at the same time they're both true. And so I started to say something. So from what I understood is the God force, the God energy, source energy, broke off into fractals, and this reality was created. And me, you, everybody in the world are different fractals that are broken off from source energy. And so we have separate consciousness, but we have a collective or super consciousness, which is all, part of the all, the mind of the all, the source. And so we are basically individual fractals each. Okay, so that's what I learned about that part of the fractals. And so the part to me that I kind of felt like was a contradictory excuse. So from what I hear, it's just in the beginning, right, that God decided to split off into all of these fractals and create this creation. Well, the in the beginning part is the part I have a problem with, because when you start to learn, there was no beginning and no end, and there's infinite realities, infinite possibilities. And so I don't even know if it's right to say there's a beginning. So this is something I'm learning on my journey. Okay, so that was about the fractal part. Okay, so the soul fragmentation. So when you split off, so let's just say the soul, God, we'll just say the universe, the source energy, split off a fractal, and that fractal became your soul, and you became incarnated in this earth. So therefore, you're very much still a part of God. In fact, you are God, you're creator God, you are one with God. Much like when Jesus realized I am the Father and the Father is me. Me and him are one. See, Jesus had a awakening, okay? He realized who he truly was. He realized that him and the God was one. I am my Father and my Father is me. And he, and I really believe that that was his message, is that we are creator gods. We can create our reality. We don't self-love. I really believe that was his message, and I believe it might have got a little distorted, and you know, he was made a god, he was made a religion. I don't really see anywhere what he said to set up churches. Anyways, so when it comes to God breaking off into a fractal or a universe, think about you as a human being. We also have our soul fragmented and break off into fractals as well. And so when I talk about soul fragmentation, let's see, I'm going to use an example. When I was a child, okay, I told this story on my YouTube channel before, okay, I was an orphan, and the day I was about 10 years old, and I was taken away from my mother by the social workers. They came to my school. I never saw my mother again. Well, I did eventually see her in a visit. I begged for a visit, and when I finally saw her, they finally gave me a visit. Like 6 months I had been an orphan, and so I was like crying, and I was like, "Mommy, do you miss me?" And she says, "No, I don't miss you. I miss the welfare check." That day right there. Okay, so let's go back to that moment right there. That moment, I was as whole and as pure as can be. I was new to this world and reality. I was a child. You know, a child is so close. They're so close to, I guess, to spirituality than we are, because they're pure, right? And so it's before they're untouched by a lot of the things that we go through in this life. So I was in that pure state, not really wondering why I'm taken away from my mom. And all of a sudden my mom tells me something that is heartbreaking, okay? And my mind can't quite compute that, because as a child, you look at your parent as the provider of love for you, as the provider to take care of you, as your guide or your earth angel, so to speak, into this life. That's who your parents are to you. And so when that moment where she made that statement and my heart broke, my soul got fragmented. It became a fractal. And so once that part of my soul became fragmented, and the reason why I'm identifying it like this is because that day, that part of me I denied. The part of me that wasn't loved by her, I denied that. I went into foster homes wanting for my mom, crying for my mom, always thinking one day she's going to rescue me from foster care. I had this dream that one day we're going to be fine, and she's going to love me, and she's going to be at my wedding day, the day I have a baby, the day I go to college, when my college graduation. And like, I had built this illusion in my mind to kind of like to protect myself from the harm. And at that point I was no longer identifying with that harm. So that fractal, that part of my soul fragmented into a fractal. And so when I talk about the shadow side, okay, so we have, according to Carl Jung, we have the conscious mind, okay, the subconscious or the unconscious mind, and then the collective or the super conscious mind. So we're three fragments here. We're three pieces. Our soul is in three consciousness or whatever. And so that day, that part of me that got hurt, it went off into the subconscious. I couldn't accept it. I had to protect myself. I was a child. I didn't know any better. So I split myself of that soul, and it began to hide in my dark side, in my shadow side. And so that's what I see soul fragmentation is. And so now throughout our lives, there are different steps where our souls can be fragmented off. There are, just it could be anything. It could be you got into an argument, or your boyfriend broke your heart, or your husband cheated on you, or your mom died. Something happened that was traumatic. And maybe it didn't even have to be that traumatic, but it had to be enough for you to your soul to fragment off, and you not really like face it or deal with it, right? Okay, so it goes off into the subconscious mind, right? And so when it's in the subconscious mind, you don't understand, the subconscious is really your soul essence. Okay, it your conscious mind is the mind that is the reasoning mind, the mind of the intellect, the mind of the ego, you know. But the subconscious it has access to all knowledge. This is the soul. Okay, so subconsciously, your soul knows that you have denied this. So your soul will communicate to you in ways that will bring up the fact that, you know, okay, so I fractaled myself off. Like, so the message, you know, that I'm getting is my mom doesn't love me. So I think that now I'm unlovable. My heart is broken and I'm a child. And I have to believe that she loves me in order to survive. So I lied to myself with the illusion. And now I'm thinking, my subconscious is like, okay, so if my subconscious was its own personality, okay, you're hurt, you're heartbroken, you feel destroyed right now. I can't express it? What do you mean I can't express it? I'll show you. So subconsciously, I began to attract everybody who doesn't love me in my life. Everybody, foster parents that didn't love me, that teased me about not being black enough. You know, I was with a black foster family, and they made fun of me because of my skin complexion. I wasn't accepted by the blacks, I wasn't accepted by the whites. And so it's just like, I constantly manifested situations of rejection, of not feeling loved. Like, I've never had a relationship with a man that actually loved me. You know, I had manipulators, I had con artists, sociopaths, liars, but the truth is, my body, my soul had to communicate with me one way or another that a part of me is fractal off. And in order to do that is I had to face these painful situations. And to the day I wake up and realize that it's not these people that are not loving me. It's me attracting that into my reality because I thought I was unlovable and I didn't love myself. And so when it comes to soul fragmentation, that's kind of what I just wanted to talk about, that is because all of us have fractals. All of us have different points in our life where our soul has fragmented from an experience or a situation. And so it goes into the shadow side. That's why shadow work is important. And that's why embracing the shadow, understanding what you went through, can kind of help you cope so that your subconscious mind won't continually, like, so my subconscious mind will continually draw me into situations with people who don't love me, who want to reject me and hurt me. And so, like, it's definitely a journey. It's a journey that I'm on. And I can't say I'm 100% over all of that stuff yet, right? But I can tell you now I am aware. I can tell you now, I know this is why I've attracted this in the past. And I can tell you now, when the next person comes along and they want to treat me like they don't love me, guess what? I'm aware of that. I know that I have to say, look, nope, this I'm not interested. Like, I'm not, the moment I start to feel like they don't love me or they are gonna be bad for me, or they treat me bad or make me unhappy, that's the moment. See, that's the thing it's done for me. It's given me awareness, right? So now that I have this awareness, I'm using it to make sure I don't manifest the same things again. And you know, and it's not something that happens overnight. It's one thing I'm learning. You know, you'll still attract that into your life, but now you just got to be aware and stand your ground and know that you deserve better, and start to get in that vibration of, I am lovable, I love myself. You know, start to bring that soul, that part of your soul, back into you and embrace it. Radical acceptance. Love yourself, love your dark side, love the things in you that you denied before, because that's what fragmented your soul. And so I think in this ascension process is a process of beginning to bring back the fractals and to combine all of the parts of our soul that's been fragmented so we can come back to one. And then the ultimate process is we're all different fractals from source. And that journey as well is to come back to one. Anyways, that was my conversation. I guess that turned out okay, right? I had no idea. Anyways, thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.